Good morning to everyone and welcome. Faria and Shahinaz, are you able to hear us and see us very
Good morning. Yes, I am able to hear you.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So welcome, and here you are meeting the team from Alliant International University as well as from EduConnect. So we will start with some introductions. We will keep it short so that we can take your questions at the very end. And absolutely, since it's a small group, we planned it such that we can make it interactive, have it very personal. So any questions that you may want, please do keep it, note it down so that there'll be plenty of time to ask that. I am the Dean for the Alliant School of Management. We are California School of Management and Leadership. And we have the MBA program, we have doctorate programs, we have bachelor's programs offered in different campuses of California. So with that, I'm going to ask the other members of the team that you're meeting today to introduce themselves. Dr. Chiang.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Hui Qian, actually the PD of the DBA programs. So when you hear, like we say PD, when you're in the program, actually that is abbreviation of program director. And we have a lot of other abbreviations you'll be familiar with. So, and really nice seeing you, and looking forward to the Q&A session to know more about you. Thank you.
Dr. Scott.
Hi, I'm Corey Scott, and I'm also a program director. I'm the program director of the PhD in Leadership program. And I, just like Huyo, I'm here. I am excited for this and looking forward to your questions.
Wonderful. And Radhika. I'm just calling it as I see it on my screen. Radhika. There. Jessica, you can go.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm the executive director of EduConnect USA. And EduConnect works in partnership with Alliant to make sure that international students have a really smooth transition throughout the admissions process. So we go from the beginning when you're just learning about the programs throughout making sure that you have all your questions answered with document collection, any questions about the program, the format, the courses, all the way through the visa process, making sure that you know what to expect, you know how to schedule your interview, and then to arrival, making sure that you know your resources for housing until you arrive. So that's really our role. When you see EduConnect added onto something, we're just that extra layer of support to help you with this process, because it's for a lot of students, a lot of our students have never been to the United States, and some have, but it's a big transition. And so that's really our goal, is to help you out throughout that transition. There's one other person that you'll probably see, I believe, on one of these slides who's not here, and her name is Charlene. And Charlene is one of my colleagues too in our office in Asia. So you'll hear a lot from Charlene because the PhD and the DBA are her the programs that she also works with. So we have a team in the US and a team in Asia, so we can really kind of span the world with the time zones. And then Radhika, real quick, do you want to introduce yourself before we get moving?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I couldn't find the unmute in the video button. Yeah, I'm Radhika, and I am the social media coordinator with EduConnect. And I think Jessica has explained most of what EduConnect does, but yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you, everyone. And Faria and Shahnaz, we'll come back to your introduction. And the reason I say we'll come back to that is because once you know a little bit about what we're talking about introducing in terms of the university and the school, you might have relevant things that you want to say about yourself and then ask the questions. So with that, let me get started. Radhika, if you could advance to the next slide. All right, so this is the Alliant International University team. And as you heard from Jessica and Radhika, there is the EduConnect team that is an extra layer of support during the application, during the visa, and support for your success as you get to Alliant. The nice thing about Alliant International University is that it is very professional practice oriented. And why that is important is because, especially for the doctorate programs, when you graduate, when you finish the doctorate programs, you will be at a level, you'll be called Doctor, and Dr. Kumar, Dr. Chia, and Dr. Scott. So you would be at a level where you'll be expected to be professionally qualified and a professional mentor to everyone around you. And so professional practice allows you to be already trained in the applications within whichever career you're picking. If you are picking academics, after doctorate, several students go to academia, they become professors, they become program directors, they become deans, but they are in the academic university career path, and they are expected to be training and educating the leaders of the future. And so professional practice keeps you ready. We often say career ready. It could be in the academics, it could be consulting, it could be as a individual manager, director, and in a company. It depends on whichever is your interest. So professional practice, I regard professional practice and practical training one of the most important aspects that an education program should cover. You will learn all about models and theories and research methodologies, all those good things in classes and courses. And that is very, very important. That is the foundation. But you have to be career ready. You have to be able to be mentoring, be ready to show the professionalism and apply what you learned in your careers. So that is Alliant International University gives a lot of focus on that. And that is just so very important for you as you pick your university. The second thing is about scholarship. Scholarship, of course, the traditional meaning of scholarship is that we support you in the financial aspect. But another important meaning of scholarship, especially for doctoral programs, is about research. So research is something that academics, as well as careers in corporate industry jobs, look at doctoral candidates, doctoral graduates, to be able to bring new knowledge, to be able to bring new models to wherever you are working in. And that comes if you are researching it. Sometimes people think research is something very difficult. It's like, gosh, I've never done research. However, once you go through a doctoral program, part of the training, part of the courses is that you become very familiar with how do you do research. It becomes so seamlessly part of your normal inquiry, part of your normal application, that research is something that you will start liking, you will do it very quickly, that is expected of you. It's about bringing new knowledge, new applications, and you will be respected, not just expected, you will be respected. Everybody around you will look towards you and say, what do you think, Dr. Kumar? What does your research tell you? How can we get to the answer for a certain problem? You've got those tools in terms of doing research. So that's what scholarship means. Multicultural and international competence. You know, Alliant is one that has that. Firstly, we respect diversity and equity and inclusion. But secondly, we already have a lot of students that are from international locations. You heard that we have offices, EduConnect has offices in Asia as well as US. So when a student comes to Alliant, you are in the company of a lot of other international students. You feel very comfortable here, And unless you have that comfort zone, it is hard to be natural, be yourself, and learn. So it is really important to be in a place where you are comfortable, where you're respected, where others know you, where everyone around you, your faculty, your program director, your colleagues, your students, the student cohort want to hear from you because they respect what your context tells you. So that's another important thing. And we are very much into networking and community engagement, a fourth pillar of what Alliant and the School of Management stands for. School of Management, as I said earlier, is California School of Management and Leadership, and that is where most of you have applied to, and that is why I'm focusing on that. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the purpose for today is to give you some basic information about Alliant, basic information about California School of Management and Leadership, and allow you to ask questions, because we want to make sure that you understand that this university and this school, the School of Business, come from a history of very, very long years. Why is that important? That is important because once you graduate, you want this university, the university you graduate from, to be around, to be something on your resume for your employers, for your colleagues, for those who you respect, who respect you, those who will promote you, those who will essentially ensure that your career for the next 30, 40 years has value. You want that university and that school are here forever. You do not want to start in a university and graduate from a university that does not exist tomorrow, right? So Alliant, we are a private regionally accredited institution. We have schools, we have 5 schools: psychology, forensics, business, education, and law. And we have been around for almost 100 years. And that's actually something that we are very, very proud of. All our students and alumni are really proud of that. The reason is what, as I was describing, that you would never want to have a university where somebody says, okay, let me Google this university, and the university name doesn't come up. So we have weathered so many storms that you can imagine. Since 100 years, we've had so many alumni. We have seen industry trends. We've seen industry and hot areas come in, come go. We have always aligned and worked for the student and the alumni so that their degree has value for so many decades to come. Most of our campuses are in San Diego, in California. We have campuses in San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Irvine, Fresno, Sacramento. These are all cities within California. And like I said, established for many, many years. We also had a campus in Mexico City, but right now we have a medical school in Mexico City. The School of Business has cohorts in San Diego and Los Angeles. So if you were to come here, you'll be either in San Diego or Los Angeles. Next slide, please. Another thing that you want from the university that you join is that they should be accredited with the best accreditation possible. We have, in our last 80 to 100 years that we have operated, we have always been accredited with the, what we say, diamond standard, the highest quality standard of accreditation. Why is accreditation important? Because accreditation allows you to give quality, not even allows you, monitors and tracks the quality of the education that we give to the students. In America, there are 2 kinds of accrediting bodies. One is national and one is regional. Basically, it is the regional accreditors that are more important. So WASC, it stands for the Western Accreditors. WASC, W-A-S-C, that you see on your screen is the regional accreditor for this coast. And the regional ones are not just some more important than national, are way more, hugely more important. So you always look for regional accreditation of the university. All the bigger names that you hear, Stanford, Harvard, Yale, these are all regionally accredited. It is not the national accreditor. It is a regional accreditor. WASC is the diamond standard, the gold standard for accreditation. And we have been accredited with WASC for many decades. So always look for regional accreditor. WASC accreditor is the diamond standard. The other accreditor is ACBSP. That's the specialty accreditor, which is for business school. So those of you who are here, Faria and Shahinaz, you have applied to the business school for doctorate programs. And the business specialty accreditor is called ACBSP. We are ACBSP accredited as well. So with WASC accreditor, WASC accredits the whole university, not individual schools or specialties. ACBSP accredits individual specialties. With these two accreditors, you are in the most quality and the most valuable education institution that you could possibly have. All the bigger names that you hear, the Harvard, Stanford, Yale, Princeton, all of these are regionally accredited, and they have also some specialty accreditation. Always look for that. Thank you. Radhika, one more slide. Okay, so here I wanted to make sure that you see California School of Management and Leadership has so many different programs. You don't want to go to a university that has one or two programs. You want to go to a university that has a very big footprint. And the big footprint means that they are in different disciplines. I told you we are in the we meaning Alliant. It has a very big school in psychology, a very big school in education. We have law school, we have forensics and business, which I'll talk about in a minute. We also have a school of medicine in Mexico City. School of Management, our footprint is in graduate programs, which is master's, doctoral programs, which you'll hear a little bit about or more about from the program directors in a minute. And we have certificate programs in different areas, which all have to do with managing of people, managing of technology, managing of finance, and so on. So we are here today for the doctoral programs. Your interest is in doctoral programs. So I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Chian and Dr. Scott to talk a little bit more about the doctoral programs. Dr. Chian with the DBA, you can get started.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. Yeah, so Doctor of Business Administration, or we say DBA, we hear a lot. So that is a doctoral program, similar as the PhD leadership, both are at the doctoral level. And Doctor of Business Administration, we focus on professional practice, skills, and the practical training, just as what Dr. Kumar introduced about 4 of the pillars from Alliant. So the program, you probably know some of those basics from the catalog, the websites. So it is designed as a 3-year program, but you will have some flexibility, depends on your situation. So most with the planned the study plan, the routine study plan, it is to graduate in 3 years, but could be a little bit shorter or a little bit longer, depends how heavily you take the coursework and complete the dissertation. The DBA program pretty much has a couple parts. One is to build your scholarship, as what Dr. Kumar said, about doing research. So we have a group of courses focus on research methodology, how to do a research study, and so on. So that is one group. Another group for sure it is a business administration. So a group of courses on management, business, those core courses. Another part actually is the specialization. So our DBA program currently has 4 specializations. One is general management. So we say management specialization. We also have a new added specialization called hospitality management specialization. Besides these 2, we also have a specialization, say, information and data science, because currently we know we have the information data is everywhere, and it is essential for decision makers to utilize the information around. And so we have the information and data science specialization in the DBA program. The other one is marketing. So the 4 specializations in the program have specialization courses. We have 4 specialization courses for you to build up the specialized skills and knowledge for the specific specialization. And I'm sure the other part is also very important. It is a key for a doctoral program, that is dissertation research. So the entire program has 60 credit units, 12 units gonna towards to the dissertation research. Another one you may know is our DBA program actually has it available both on ground and online. So we have DBA on ground and DBA online. Yeah, that's pretty much a very quick overview about the DBA program. For sure, our program has been established for a long time, just like several other programs at Alliant. So yeah, I am looking forward to your questions. Thank you. Dr. Kumar, you're on mute.
Thank you, Dr. Chan. And Dr. Scott for the PhD leadership.
Okay, yeah, in our program, we offer students a learning experience through face-to-face interaction with students, faculty, and our academic staff in a very stimulating scholarly environment. You will learn about the nature of people and how their behavior is influenced by leaders in organizations. We'll prepare you with for all the different types of things that may come up. We'll give you and help you develop an ethical foundation to prepare you for issues affecting leadership in business. We'll guide you through the dissertation process and enhance your scholarly as well as professional skills and competencies in a unique academic environment. And we will help you explore potential research topics and professional career paths. You'll also explore the role of leadership in organizations and how leadership can enhance the process of innovation and in the context of organizational leadership. So we hope you will join our community of leaders. We will definitely help you invest in yourself, help you become your best self. And as Dean Rachna mentioned earlier, when it comes to that practical training piece, we put a lot of effort into giving you the types of experiences you will need to bolster your resume or your CV and to really prepare you for whatever it is that you want to go out there and do. So we do hope you will join us.
Thank you, Dr. Scott. With that, I wanted to invite Faria and Shahinaz if you had any other questions. We had a couple of other slides that we can share after that, but I did want to hear from you folks before we get to those slides.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Actually, I do have a question. So I hesitate a lot between DBA and PhD. I am accepted right now in DBA program, but I just want to ask, in your opinion, what's the difference? Is there any difference in the marketplace if you say I have a DBA or a PhD? In terms of research, so I would like to publish papers. I'm not too, I think I can in a DBA program, but in your opinion, did I choose the right program?
Tell us a little bit more about your career interests, meaning academics, consulting, company, etc. So just tell us and what you have done previously. So tell me.
Sure. So I joined Alliant University for an MBA program with hospitality management. That was part of Battelle School. I graduated in 2021, and currently I'm doing the OPT. I'm a front office manager in IHG Group, the Intercontinental Hospitality Group. I'm finishing the OPT like end of June. Sorry. My interest is more academic and professional. So I don't want to leave the professional side. So I want to keep having a career in hotels. Mm-hmm. So I want both.
And that makes sense. You know what? That's one of the advantages of doing a doctorate, which anytime I hire faculty members, I always say this, that academics allows you, so we value both academic, meaning some scholarship, some teaching, and being in the marketplace. And marketplace means what you're saying, professional part of it. The reason is because after graduating, students need to work in a university, but also do consulting and contribute to the industry. So you want to be able to do both. So we value it. You bring it to the classroom, and that is actually one of the advantages. No other profession, no other career allows you to do different things. You know, we value that. So the reason I spoke up rather than the two PD program directors here was because I can kind of give you a little of both sides. Both the programs are very, very, very valuable. Doctorate, you know, I think doctorate programs are just about the best investment of time, energy, and finances that one can make. They stay with you. That adds value for decades after. I mean, I have done my doctorate many years ago. I would say maybe, I don't know, more than 2 decades ago, right? But I'm still, I mean, it doesn't leave you. Anywhere I go, the respect and the expectation that I get is because of my doctorate. So both the degrees are amazingly good. Both have research components to it. Both have professional components to it. Time to completion is about the same. Now, I do know that DBA is the only one that has a hospitality management specialization. Leadership does not yet. We may get into it, but does not have it yet. I think that perhaps more, if we were to look at number of students, alumni graduating, perhaps the DBA students might go into professional somewhat more than academic. Leadership might go in, a higher percentage might go into professional. I need to say that again. DBA graduates might go into academics somewhat more compared to professional careers, while leadership might go into more professional careers than academics, but both you will find similar things. So I don't think I'm giving you an answer, but but what I'm doing is giving you a way to think. I'm giving you a way to think about between the two. If your heart is very, very set on hospitality, then you know that DBA is the one which has the specialization. So ask more questions, but if something needs to be added by Dr. Chiang or Dr. Scott, this would be the time.
Yeah, first of all, actually, Sahinas, really nice meeting you, seeing your face. We had email communications back and forth a couple of times, but this is first time really seeing you. Yes, that is a very good question. As what Dr. Kumar said, and especially when you get to the doctoral level, right? It's all about thinking. It's not like, you know, tell me this or that. It is more like, you know, how to think about the question and make your decision based on the information. So that's what we say, decision making based on like information or data driven decision making. So I agree with what Dr. Kumar said. Both doctoral programs are doctoral degrees. So, so professionally and academia, I mean, like publishing papers, those both share the two characters. To me, from your background, interest, and your plan for future career, I think, so basically, seems like two parts you need to consider, ask yourself. One is about the content, right? The specific skills. So do you want to stay in the hospitality management field? And do you want to more focus on professional side of academia? What I mean is, for example, hospitality practice, right? So you publish papers, those you do research related to hospitality practice, or more like leadership kind of more theoretical kind of research. So that is something you need to think about. Other one is DBA, Doctor of Business Administration. The other one is PhD. Yes, the two are slightly different. And as what Dr. Kumar said, the focus of the two is slightly different. So one is a slightly more focus on professional development. The other one, suppose, right? Because if you look at our course offering and so on, the two programs are really, really similar. But PhD suppose more focus on theoretical kind of development. So that means theoretically speaking, your dissertation for a PhD need to be more developing a theory or something. On the other side, the DBA, the dissertation could be more focused on real world problem, those like research, but research on solving practical, more like practical real problems. Very good question.
And of course, as the if you're asking whether you picked the right one, as the program director for leadership, I am going to be biased. So sorry.
But good question. I think you should be thinking about that. So we have two other students, Farhia and Numbisi, who's just joining. Any other questions? Tell us where you're joining from. What city, country, time zone, anything you want to share.
Okay, so good morning. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Fariha from Pakistan. I have recently completed my MPhil studies from the Faculty of Management and Computer Sciences and from Department of Commerce. Specifically, curriculum was in management. And now I want to pursue my PhD program. My question is basically about the research topic. Are we going to get the research plan from the supervisor, the professor, or we have to bring our own research plan? I'm interested in DBA.
So
I
Okay.
think the important thing when it comes to that is that when you get here, you'll be taking several classes that are going to help you develop and strengthen your own research plan. So while you're going through the classes that prepare you for the dissertation process, you'll be wrestling with all kinds of ideas. And then when you get at what we call a dissertation chair, they'll help you kind of narrow that down. And there are also some classes that will help you put those ideas together. So if your question is if we're going to give you a research topic or if you need to come with your own, just come as you are. And while you're here, you will develop that.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. I must tell you that I work in a public sector university here, and I'm working here for last 4 years. And I've been working, so far I have worked on 9 projects, 9 research projects, among which 5 were the supervision projects. I supervised 5 students so far. So I want to bring up my own research topic.
Yeah.
I have a research plan, so I want to come up with that. So that's why I asked this question.
That's actually very good. Most of our students have some idea about what to work on for the dissertation as the research topic. So if you already have a very clear plan about what to work on, that actually will give you some advantage when you start taking courses, because you can actually even start with day one. You can, while you're taking courses, you can contribute your dissertation work actually. So you can start earlier than the others. When you take the officially start writing, it will be super fast because your topic is clear, the structure, the design, the plan, everything is almost ready. The dissertation chair can supervise you to like clarify, to enhance the plan, but because you have a clear idea, then a lot of things can move forward very fast.
Thank you so much.
Great.
And can I ask another question?
Sure.
I have not been selected yet, and I do not have a GRE or a GMAT score. So what would be the selection criteria for me? And what are the entry test requirements, how it would be, and what will be the pattern of the entry test? Can you please guide me?
we don't require GMAT or GRE. We have found, we used to some years ago, but we have found that it doesn't really give us a lot of information about the success of the student and the ability of the student, especially for doctoral programs. Because in doctoral programs, just like you said, you have been doing research projects. That level of interest and that level of preparation is not something we can get from GMAT and GRE score. It is a framework and a mindset for research that makes students successful in such programs as doctoral programs. So we don't require GRE or GMAT. So that's one. Entry test, there isn't an entry test. There is a set of requirements, which is things like your transcript, things like a couple of essays. I don't know if it's 2 essays or 1 essay, but your prior degree, your transcript, meaning what courses you've done in GPA. If you have done a work, so you've been doing work, write that in your essay. There are letters of recommendation. Do we require letters of recommendation yet?
I think so. Probably
Okay.
2 recommendation letters and 1 essay.
Okay, so it is that. So when you fill out the application, it will tell you that. There is a next slide that I can share, which gives you the email and of the contact person, and she will guide you, just like EduConnect, Jessica and Radhika were telling you in the beginning. Their layer is to help candidates like you get ready for the application and help you, support you in providing all of that here. So EduConnect, I think Jessica had already introduced this. It is for the extra support and the extra help in applying. But then you see that email, you can write it down or we can send it to you later. Charlene is the email that you can send out to, and she will walk you, help you through all of that. Radhika, Jessica, did you want to add anything on EduConnect or to her question?
Yeah, just on the essay. So for the essay component, there's a essay that's required. It's 3 to 4 pages. It's a personal statement so that the university is able to get to know you a little bit better before they meet you. And that is something exactly like Dr. Kumar mentioned that we can help guide you through. But it's really about you. So there's not a formula to it. There's not specific structure the university is looking for. They're looking to see you and your interests and your career path and your background. So we can definitely assist you as you start thinking about that. But that's it in terms of your essay. That's what would be required.
So the theme, what you're asking, I get it, Namisi. What you're asking is, can you continue with the theme of research or project or topic that you were doing during a master's thesis? Absolutely, you can continue. So the doctoral program is a separate program. You can continue with it, or you can extend it. You can add to it, or you can change it. The doctoral program, the dissertation and the research that you do in the doctoral program, essentially you own it, meaning it's what your interest is and what you feel you can utilize in your future career, what you are passionate about. Your chair, I think Dr. Scott said earlier, your chair will work with you, but certainly you can change it, you can continue it. It'll be up to you. Dormitory, housing help for international students. So Jessica or Radhika, would you take that question?
Sure. So there's no on-campus housing for Alliant, but there's a lot of housing in the area. And that's something that we can help give you resources for based on what you're looking for. Whether you're looking for something independently or whether you're looking for something to share with another student. There's both of those options. So Alliant has options where students live that are fully furnished, especially for international students. And there's other options that you can take a look at on your own. So I would say a lot of students either live, there's some housing that's really close to campus, and the campus is located in a really beautiful, like quiet area surrounded by nature. So I would say there's a lot of students who like to live right by campus. There is not a whole lot to do directly around campus. So students who want to live in areas where there's a lot more to do would live a few minutes drive away. So it really depends on kind of what kind of lifestyle you're looking for, so we can answer those questions. And if you live a little bit farther away, there'll be more things to do around your housing, but then you might have to drive a little bit to campus. And there's a few public transportation options. We use Uber and Lyft out here too. So that's something that we can assist you with personally, so that we can figure out what you're looking for, what price range you're looking for, and we can help point you in those to the direction of those resources.
Jessica, Numbisi wrote another question in the chat.
Yeah, in order to answer Numbisi's question, the way that tuition is charged at Alliant is per credit. So you're paying for the courses that you're enrolled with as you go. So tuition is due the week before class starts. And so it depends on how many courses you are enrolled in that period of time. Something else that is significant, let's see, as far as GPA, the minimum GPA requirement is a 3.0. However, there can be exceptions made to that. So there would be a GPA exemption process that you would go through. So be sure to, thank you for bringing that up because that's really important. Be sure to ask us that individually and we'll help you through that process. Because the stated guideline is a minimum of 3.0, but we do have students who are able to get exceptions for that. That's something that the faculty would be able to grant an exception to. Something else that I wanted to mention too in regards to tuition and fees is another aspect of this program that's really special and unique is the CPT options for the DBA. So as an international student, you are able to work part-time while you study in a field that's connected to your job. And you are able to earn money that way through your field. There's also, I know, and I'm still kind of new to this part, but I know Dr. Scott has options for students who are looking more on the consulting side and the teaching side too. So I would say that's something that really makes Alliant stand out is that, you know, Alliant considers itself as a professional practice university. So you are coming, you're getting a degree and all of that is really important, but your degree is a vehicle for your career, right? So whether it's something in the business field that you want to do, whether your goal is to be an instructor or a consultant, Alliant is going to set you up with the courses that you need to achieve that, but also the practical experience that you need to achieve that. So that's something that is a really good question and it's really important to point out. The range of housing, the cost, it varies quite a bit. So anywhere between, if you are living in a shared unit that's fully furnished, it can be about like $800, $850 a month. And then of course, the sky's the limit for how much you can pay in San Diego. So that's really up to you, but there are affordable options and it really depends if you're okay with living with other students or if you prefer to live on your own, what location you want to live in. So we can help you get more specifics by answering a couple of those questions. And in terms of scholarships, I know there's a fairly recent scholarship opportunity that I can provide some additional information for. And the other question here, the chances for getting selected for the scholarship. So we have a scholarship page that lists all the opportunities we have, who is eligible for it, and what the requirements are. So we can direct you towards that as well. So you have the tuition, and then just keep in mind too that you do have options for paid internships through CPT as well. Yeah, and thank you for that comment, NUMBC. We can definitely help you with that. San Diego, the area where Alliant is, you're definitely able to live with other Alliant students, but there's other universities in the area too. So there's a very big student population. So it's no problem to live with other students. There's a lot of other students who are looking for the same thing.
Can I ask a last question?
Yeah, of course.
So as an international student, do we have the opportunity to work on campus as a teacher assistantship or a research assistant? Do we have this opportunity?
So let me take that question. You do have that opportunity. International students can always work on campus. There are not that many opportunities just because a lot of the students that we have are working in practical training. I think Jessica mentioned that practical training is required throughout the program. So a lot of times international students refer to it as CPT, day one CPT, meaning can you start working on day one of the program and work to the end of the program? If you find a job or a practical training site that is paid, then you can get paid. If it's unpaid, if you can make it unpaid. But that practical training, which is called CPT for international students, can be done throughout the program from day one, can be paid or unpaid. So a lot of the students that we are supporting are working in that anyways, and therefore there is the courses to do. There is this it's practical training to do, which is a required part of the program. So it becomes heavy already. So we do have those opportunities, but I will say that they are not too many. So no promises, but yes, I know students, especially in IT, they're always looking for more students for as tutors or student assistants. Joseph asked, the university boasts of short, you mean small. The university boasts of small classes. What is the average number of students per class for the DBA program? Typically, it is below 20. I mean, actually, we have some smaller classes as well, but typically the average would be about 25. And when we say it's short class, small classes, there are many doctoral programs that have 50, 100 classes. We've never touched those. For you, would that be appropriate? About 25 average class size?
So a number of students in the class, actually, usually we do not have that many. I will say 10 to 15 probably is the most kind of frequent class size. Sometimes could be less than 10, sometimes could be slightly above 15, but we usually do not have more than 20. Very, very super rare to have more than 20 students in the class.
And that's the state right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you to everyone for joining us. It is the best way to start the morning, those of you who are in the morning time zone. But for us, it's the best way to start the day by looking at faces and listening to voices from students and those who are interested in the programs. So thank you very much for joining. Do write your questions to any one of the emails. Copy it from the chat, because once this finishes, you will not have it. But Radhika will have her team contact you anyway.